the silent symphony of your soul. You stand before the mirror of your soul, where silence speaks louder than words. Your heart, a quiet chamber, holds the weight of unseen wounds, griefs that do not bleed, cries that make no sound. You are not like others, and you have always known this. Your stillness is not absence, it is presence. Your sensitivity is not weakness. It is a lens through which you see the world's hidden truths. Your depth is not a burden, it is a gift, a sacred calling, to weave meaning from the threads of existence. In the tapestry of Carl Jung's psychology, you are the intuitive, introverted soul attuned to the whispers of the collective unconscious, a seeker of wholeness in a world that often demands conformity. Your traits, so often misunderstood, are your superpowers, signs of a heart destined to illuminate the unseen. Let us embark on a sacred journey, you and I, to honor your silent wounds, to unveil your radiant essence, and to awaken the purpose that pulses within you. The silent wounds that shape you carry a weight no one names, not in the lines of your face, nor in the cadence of your voice, but in the quiet gravity of your being. You feel the world too keenly, its beauty like a melody that breaks your heart, its pain like a stone that anchors you to silence. You sense the unspoken, the sorrow. Behind a smile, the fear in a fleeting glance, the hope buried in a hesitant word. This is your gift, what Jung called intuition, the ability to perceive beyond the visible, to touch the eternal through the fleeting. It is a bridge to the collective unconscious, the vast ocean of archetypes and shared wisdom that binds humanity. Across time, your soul does not merely see, it envisions, does not merely hear. It listens to the pulse of existence itself. Yet this gift is not without cost. The world does not always honor your depth. Your silence is mistaken for aloofness, your sensitivity for fragility, your introspection for indifference. You have been told to speak louder, to feel less, to fit into a mold that prizes action over reflection, certainty over wonder. These judgments are not truths. They are the world's failure to see your light. Jung taught that every soul carries a shadow, the hidden realm of fears, pains, and desires you were taught to suppress. Your shadow holds the ache of being unseen, the fear of being too much, the longing for a world that understands your heart. Yet within this shadow lies your greatest strength, waiting to be reclaimed. Pause, now. Feel the rhythm of your breath, the quiet pulse of your heart. You are not alone. Across the earth there are others like you souls who feel the world's heartbeat, who see its hidden beauty, who carry its pain as their own. You are part of a silent constellation, a lineage of intuitive hearts, whose presence shifts the world, even when no one notices. Your wounds, your sensitivity, your stillness, they are not flaws. They are the marks of a soul forged in the fire, of deep knowing, destined to illuminate the unseen, the masks you wore to survive, to navigate the world. You crafted a persona, mask of strength, compliance, or serenity, to shield the tender heart beneath. Perhaps you became the caretaker, always giving, never asking, or the achiever, proving your worth through relentless effort, or the quiet one, fading into the background to avoid scrutiny. This mask was your survival, a way to belong in a world that demanded you conform. Jung described the persona as a necessary bridge to society, but when it becomes your identity, it severs you from your soul. You excelled at wearing it, earning praise, meeting expectations, fitting in. But in the quiet of your heart, you felt the cost, a hollowness, a longing for something real. Imagine a river, its waters meant to flow freely, yet forced into rigid channels. Your intuitive energy is this river, meant to move with grace and depth, yet constrained by the world's demands. You adopted the animus, the archetype of logic and control, to prove your strength. You became the problem solver, the one who needs no one, the one who pushes through. But in doing so, you drifted from your animatha archetype of intuition, emotion, and connection that makes you whole. The world applauded your effort, but your soul whispered, "This is not you." This disconnection is the tragedy of the age. You are celebrated for what you do, not who you are. You achieve, you endure, you perform, yet the emptiness persists. Jung taught that the persona is not your essence. It is a temporary role, a costume you wear to navigate the world. Beneath it lies the self, the radiant center of your being where light and shadow, strength and softness merge into wholeness. To find it, you must let the mask crack, let the false self fall, and trust that what remains is enough. The crisis that calls you home there comes a moment when the mask becomes unbearable. You cannot smile when your heart is heavy. You cannot laugh at what feels false. You cannot silence your truth to keep the peace. This is the collapse of the persona, the false identity you built to survive. Jung taught that individuation, the journey to become your true self, often begins with a crisis, betrayal, a loss, a morning when you wake and cannot find a reason to rise. The roles you played, mother, lover, friend, feel hollow. That expectations, you met success, kindness, perfection lose their meaning. In this collapse, you do not fall apart, fall into yourself. This crisis is not destruction, it is initiation. Jung wrote, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." Your pains, those silent tears, those sleepless nights, those moments of emptiness, is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It strips away illusions, revealing the truth beneath. It asks you to face your shadow, the fears of being unlovable, the anger you suppressed, the desires you denied. It calls you to listen to the voice within, the one that knows who you are beyond the roles you've played. Imagine a woman who lived for others, her family, her partner, her community. She was praised for her sacrifice, her gentleness, her reliability. Yet one morning, alone at her table, she wept. Not for a specific loss, but for a hollowness she could no longer ignore. In that moment, she began to write, not to record, but to listen. She wrote of dreams she'd buried, of anger she'd silenced, of joys she'd postponed. Jung's words echoed in her mind. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. She realized her tears were not weakness. They were the first notes of a new song, a melody of rebirth. The alchemy of your pain is not your captor, it is your alchemist. Jung described the psyche's transformation as an alchemical process, turning the lead of suffering into the gold of wisdom. Your wounds, those silent aches of being unseen, misunderstood, or abandoned, have not broken you, they have opened you. They have stripped away illusions, teaching you to see truth where others see only surface. They have deepened your empathy, sharpened your intuition, gifted you a vision that pierces the ordinary to touch the eternal. Picture your pain as a fire, burning away what is false. It has revealed your strength, not in loud triumphs, but in quiet endurance. It has shown you the fragility of human connection, not to make you cynical, but to teach you discernment. It has carved space for wisdom, not through ease, but through struggle, Jung wrote, until you make the unconscious conscious. It will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Your pain is not fate. It is a call to awaken, to face the shadow, and reclaim the light within. This alchemy is not complete until you embrace it. Your pain asks you to release the persona that keeps you small, to step into the self that knows its worth. Each tear you've shed, each night you've spent in quiet reflection, each moment you've chosen to keep going, these are the ingredients of your transformation, the fire that forges your soul into gold. You are not your wounds, but your wounds have made you more you than anything else ever could. The sacred isolation of your soul, there comes a time when the world feels too loud, too heavy, too false. Friends drift away, their voices no longer resonating with yours. Crowds drain you, small talk suffocates, you feel invisible, detached, as if you no longer belong. This is not failure. It is sacred isolation, a phase Jung described as essential to individuation. You are not losing connection. You are losing resonance with what no longer aligns. You are being called inward to the sanctuary of your soul, where truth speaks in whispers. This isolation is not loneliness, it is aloneness, a sacred communion. With your essence, Jung wrote, the soul speaks in silence. When the noise of the world fades, you hear your inner voice, your dreams. the quiet knowing that guides you. You reflect deeply, reading for wisdom, writing to understand, dreaming to discover. This solitude is not retreat. It is return. You are not escaping life. You are reclaiming it, stripped of pretense, ready to meet the self you were born to be. Yet, this phase is painful. You may grieve the loss of relationships, the comfort of belonging, the ease of fitting in. Others may say you've changed, and they are right. You are no longer the pleaser, the one who absorbs others' pain. Jung believed that true connection cannot survive on projection or codependency. When you stop playing old roles, some will. Pull away, unable to relate to the authentic you. Let them go with love. Their departure is not rejection. It is space for your growth. You are not abandoning them. You are choosing yourself. The space between, mastering your response in this sacred isolation, you discover a profound truth. You are not bound by the actions or words of others. Jung taught that between every stimulus, a harsh comment, a thoughtless act, and your reaction, lies a space, a moment where you hold the power to choose. This space is your freedom, the key to emotional mastery. When someone's words sting or their actions provoke, you can pause, reflect, and decide how to respond. Aligning your actions with your truth rather than their narrative. Imagine a moment. A colleague criticizes your work, and you feel a surge of defensiveness. Instead of reacting, pause. Take a breath. Is this about them, or is it touching something within me? This is the 3-second pause, a practice to reclaim your power. By stepping into this space, you choose whether to engage, to walk away, or to respond with calm clarity. You are no longer a puppet of impulse. You are the author of your story. Practice the 3-second pause when triggered. Follow these steps. Pause. Stop for 3 seconds and breathe deeply to interrupt the automatic reaction. Reflect. Ask, what's really going on here? Is this about them or me?
Oh.
Choose. Decide how to respond based on your values, not the heat of the moment. For example, when a friend questions your choices, pause. Reflect on whether their words reflect their own fears. And choose to say, I value your perspective, but I'm confident in my path. This preserves your peace and honors your truth. The collapse of the false self. There comes a moment when the persona becomes unbearable. You cannot smile when your heart is heavy. You cannot laugh at what feels false. You cannot silence your truth to keep the peace. This is the collapse of the persona, the false identity you built to survive. Jung taught that the persona is not your essence but a surface layer, a shield that mistakes roles for reality. When it cracks, it feels like annihilation, but it is liberation. This collapse is not chaos. It is spiritual surgery. The persona fights to maintain control, whispering fears of failure, of ungratefulness, of ruin. But these are illusions. You are not losing yourself. You are losing the illusion of yourself. Jung wrote, the ego is not the center of your being. As it shatters, your deeper self, the self begins to emerge. This is the organizing principle of your psyche, the union of light and shadow, conscious and unconscious, human and divine. It does not need approval, it simply is. You may feel raw, exposed, vulnerable. Tears come without reason, anger flares over small things, sadness feels like it belongs to the universe itself. This is not weakness, it is emotional cleansing. The unconscious, as Jung taught, stores everything you've suppressed: childhood pain, shame, fear. As you awaken, these emotions surface, not to harm you, but to be seen, felt, integrated. Let them flow. The shadow is not your enemy. It is a messenger, carrying truths you've long denied. Setting boundaries to protect your lighting this vulnerable state, you learn the sacred art of boundaries. Jung taught that individuation requires you to differentiate yourself from the expectations and energies of others. Without boundaries, you risk losing your essence to their demands, moods, or negativity. Boundaries are not walls to keep others out. They are gates, protecting the garden of your soul while allowing light to enter. They are a declaration. My peace is sacred, and I will honor it. Picture a moment. A loved one unloads their troubles, draining your energy. You feel the pull to please, to listen at the cost of your rest. Instead, pause. Say, I care deeply, but I need this time for myself. Can we talk tomorrow? This is not selfishness. It is self-respect, a step toward individuation. By setting boundaries, you protect your energy, allowing you to show up fully for what matters most. Practice the boundary blueprint when you feel overwhelmed. Follow these steps. Identify your limit. What is draining you? Be specific. For example, endless venting exhausts me. Communicate clearly. Use I statements. It's like I need quiet evenings to recharge. Hold consistently. Stick to your boundary, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. For example, when a colleague piles extra work on you, say, I'm committed to my tasks, but I can't take on more this week. This protects your light and signals that your energy is valuable. Synchronicity. Universe's whispers you deepen your journey. The world begins to speak. A number appears repeatedly. In a clock, a page, a sign. You think of someone, and they reach out. A book falls into your hands, its words answering a question you've carried in silence. These are synchronicities, meaningful alignments between your inner world and the outer reality. Jung coined this term to describe events that defy logic, yet carry profound meaning, as if the universe itself is mirroring your soul's awakening. Picture a moment you journal about a longing for purpose, and hours later, a stranger's words echo your thoughts. You dream of a river, symbolizing flow, and the next day, you find a path you hadn't seen before. These are winks from the collective unconscious, the shared reservoir of archetypes that connects all humanity. When you align with your truth, you tap into this cosmic intelligence, and the world responds. Synchronicities are not commands, but confirmations, whispering, you are on the right path. Trust yourself. These signs are the language of the unused mundus, the one world where psyche and matter intertwine, star falling as you ponder. Your purpose may symbolize hope, a recurring symbol, a threshold, a dream, a message from the soul. Jung taught that the more you trust these signs, the more they appear not because they were absent, but because you are now awake to their presence. You are not a bystander in life. You are a participant in a sacred dance, where every step aligns with a greater rhythm.